and this sport can grow into something that can take up your 7 days a week.
Hey, are you ready to open the next cheer chapter? I'm Alison Satton with over 20 years in the cheerleading industry, and somehow I ended up as an author too. I'm here to give it to you straight. No fluff, useful tips, and all the perks from life on the mats and in the books. Whether you're doing the laundry, driving, or just trying to survive, you're in the right place. So grab your coffee or your jug of water and let's turn the next page.
This cheer chapter is going to be all about setting up your own cheer program and what a checklist looks like. So let's get straight into it. So if you're watching this video, I'm guessing that you are thinking about starting your own cheer program or your own cheer gym, right? That's why you're here. That's probably why you searched it. So I'm currently on my second actual coaching cheerleading business. The first one that I had, I sold because we moved 7 hours away. Be a bit hard to commute to work. So I actually passed that on to the hands of an athlete that then become one of my coaches, and now she's the gym owner and she's doing an amazing job running that program. Now I'm actually running a completely different type of cheerleading program to the one I ran before. So the one I operated before was, if you're in the cheerleading world, it's your typical all-star full program in a warehouse, touring teams, competitive teams, recreational teams, tumble classes, all the things, right? The one that I'm operating now is on more of a community-based, fun, introductory level, lower cost, less responsibilities, less of all of the extra stuff that comes with running a full program. I have a lot of rec teams. I have 2 comp teams still. Just completely different angle of cheer. So I've got the 2 different. I've also worked in England in schools, as in teaching in PE lessons. So I've got a very different amount. I've also ran cheer and dance championships. So that's a little bit about my background. If you've got any questions, let me know, and I would love to chat to you about it. So this one is going to be talking about starting your own cheer program, and I really want to share a lot of this information because there's so many things that I could have changed or done. There's so many mistakes that I've made along the way. There's decisions that I made not having the right knowledge or support systems or knowing where to go, even what to do, just any of it. There wasn't and probably really still isn't a lot that's easily accessible for people, especially with cheer being such a new baby sport in this world, right? Compared to all the other sports that we're talking about, cheer is still just a baby. So I would love to share my experiences with you, and in hopes that we can grow this sport, and I manage to help somebody in the world somewhere, and just really give a little bit back for what this sport has brought into my life. So with that, the information that I'm providing in this video, I am not a professional business mentor, and full disclosure, if you need any financial advice, business mentorship, anything like that, please go and see a professional. This is purely from my experiences. So the first thing that I really want to ask you is why? Might seem like a really obvious question, but why do you want to run a cheerleading program? Like, what is it that you want from it? What is it going to bring into your life, and what are you going to bring into other people's lives? Why are you doing it? Like, is it because, if you're already in this sport, which you probably are, if you're watching this video, you could be a coach thinking of doing it, or you could be a parent thinking of going down this route, then you would know that, especially in the competitive all-star world, that cheerleading comes with a lot of different aspects. It can take up a lot of your life. So what exactly makes you want to run a program is what I want to know. Like, why do you want to do it? Once you are sure of your why, you can move on with, okay, well, I'm 100% sure on my why. This is why I want to do it. This is what I'm going to bring, and this is what I'm going to get. Then you can move forward. So the next thing is moving on from there, after knowing your why, is what kind of support are you going to have to be running this business? So where we are, cheerleading is considered a business. In this part of the world, I'm not sure where you are, but it's considered a business. It's not considered a sport. Therefore, everything that we do to provide for our athletes and our families is going through a business route. So going for like grants and support and things like that, completely different routes to what it would go through if it was going through a sport angle. So that is something that you need to think about. What is going to be your support system for running this business? Are you going to have a business mentor? I would highly recommend from the beginning getting a business mentor if it's not something that you're like highly experienced in, because there's so many things that you really will have questions about and need that support from somebody that's super knowledgeable to look at what you're doing and really help guide you in the right direction. And the other thing is, do you have a family that you're humans and people that you're responsible for on a day-to-day? So if you've got a family, like how are they going to fit into this business? Are they going to be involved in it? Are they not going to be involved in it? Is it going to take up your time on weekends? Where are you going to fit it in? Because it is something, speaking from experience, that you really, 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 really need to consider, because this business and this sport can grow into something that can take up your 7 days a week. So really consider how you're thinking about this is going to fit into my life. Now the next thing, once you've got those down, is looking at, okay, well, I definitely want to do it. I know why I want to do it. I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm giving. I know where to look for a business mentor, and I know what I'm doing with my support system, my family. Then we need to look at, okay, well, what is your location, and is there a market there for it? So where are you in the world? Where are you located? And is there realistically a market there for cheerleading? Are there other cheerleading programs there? There might be competitive, there might be recreational, there might be varsity, there might be any kind of, there's even, you've got to look into like dance programs, right? Dance programs might have a cheer aspect as part of their business. So really look at it and think, is there a market for what I'm bringing to the table? And how do you know that? Can you go out and reach out into the communities? Is it somewhere where cheerleading isn't available? Well, if that's the case, then how do you know that people are even going to want to come and sign up? How do you know what your numbers are going to be? How do you know if there's even a need for it? So really looking at like, okay, well, are there anything around? What's the numbers? Really looking at all of those details to see if it's really worth you starting a business there, and what's the likelihood that it's going to be successful, right? Once you know that, okay, well, you know where you're going to get people from. There is a need from it, whether they're coming from an all-star background already and there's just surplus amount of people that you could start another program, or it could be that you're starting it somewhere completely new and that you're going to go and show the community what cheerleading is, and you're going to do open days and go to community things and things like that, and that's how you're going to get people involved. Fine. If that's what you know what you're doing, and you know that there's enough there for you, then you're going to be looking at, okay, well, what kind of facility am I going to be thinking about? Where exactly am I going to be coaching these classes? Now, that also kind of ties into your budget and your startup costs and your running costs, because looking at where you're going to be coaching these classes will really affect what kind of facility you're looking for and your budget. So you need to know, what is your startup budget to start this business, because it can tumbleweed if you let it, right? So you've got to be really strict with yourself, which is why having a business mentor can really help, because you need to know, okay, well, are you going to go and get a a commercial lease on a building, to then have to get insurance on that, to then go and buy a full floor, full sprung floor, mats, tumble tracks, tramps, boulders, wedges, crash mats, so on and so forth, setting up reception desks. Like the list is astronomical of what you can start up a cheer gym with, right? If you just look around at the cheer gym and consider it, it can easy go way beyond what your budget might be. So what is your budget going to be? So if you're not going to be looking at getting a commercial lease, then where are you going to go? Are you going to be looking at community halls? Are you going to be looking at schools? Can you do it outside? Can you hire from a gymnastics program that's already running on days that they don't use it? Any of those kind of things where there's buildings already, can you go and hire from there instead? Now, things to think about with the facility is like, definitely go check it out. And also like your local council, they might have buildings as well. They might be good to contact. And just have a look at like, if you're doing all-star, like, and you're doing stunts and you're not doing like pom, then ceiling height is really important. And anything that's going to be like safety wise, are there already mats there? Is there equipment that you can use? Or do you need to buy equipment that you can take with you? Then you're going to be looking at like locking up. Is it secure? Is there parking? Is there toilets? Is there accessibility? Any of those kind of things need to be considered when you're thinking about the facility. Now, that doesn't mean that when you are looking at these facilities, if your dream is to have your own, you might even want to buy a building, you could even build a building, right? That might be your dream. You might not be able to do that right now. You might be able to do that right now. Either way, you might not want to start at your end goal. I know that could be your end goal, and I know that can be super exciting, and that's what you really, really want. But sometimes we've got to pull ourselves back and start with something a bit more sensible. So if you're starting the program, you haven't got any athletes right now, maybe you've got like 3 or 4 people or a handful of people that might be interested, you're better off starting smaller and then building up. If you're signing an agreement on a rent or a lease on a council property or a church or a school, or whatever it might be, it might even be like a karate club or something like that, right? Just check to make sure that what your time is of your lease, when you can cancel. Is it month to month? Is it rolling? Is it 6 months, 12 months, so on and so forth? So you know, okay, well, this is going to be a month to month. So once I'm maxed out on the time that I've got this lease, then I know at this point I need to go and look for another one or a bigger one or something else. But definitely starting off with something that is just more humble. It's something you're starting. You want to start your business to be successful. Don't start it to fail. So just start where you're at, and you can always grow later. The next thing is looking at your legalities and your logistics of running the business. So what insurances do you need? What business registration do you need? What OH and S are you putting in place? Any of those kind of things, you need to look at what country you're in, because every country is going to have different, excuse me, every country is going to have different regulations and things that you need to apply for. So I can't really advise you or tell you what you're going to need for where you are, because I don't know, and they're all different, right? So this is where a business mentor would also come in, making sure that you've got all of those things checked off. So that will also come a little bit into your budgeting as well, like how much your insurance is going to be. Are you going to need like business insurance? Do you need to get insurance on where you've got leases? What about staff? What about your athlete accidental injury insurance, public liability? Like, there'll be quite a few. So have a look into that. And then looking at your budget. So like we said, what is your budget to start? And where is this budget coming from? Like, you need to think about where are you even getting the funds to start this off, right? Because it's just not going to start for fairy dust, as much as we would love it to. So you need to think about, okay, well, this is my budget for startup, and this is what I need to spend my money on. So it could be putting a deposit on your leases, could be paying a month up in advance, all your insurances, all of your legality stuff. It could be your branding stuff, your logos, website, if you're going to go down that route straight away. All of those things need to be costed out in a spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. Use spreadsheets, everything. It's so good. Just spreadsheet it and really break it down how much, and really researching what these are going to cost before you just go and dive in. Like, all of this research should be done beforehand and planned before you 100% just go and jump 2 feet head nose in and then realize you're too deep, you know. Just plan this all out first. Then you'll be able to work out what your running costs are, how many athletes you need to cover those costs, what are you going to charge for your fees. If there's other classes around, like I said, are there other dance studios, cheerleading studios, gymnastics, karate, martial arts, sports, netball? If there's not cheerleading around, then what other sports are you competing against to get people in through the door to operate your business, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a business. So you need to look at what parents are seeing is out there is optional for them to put their children in, because you're going to be up against all of those as well. So you're looking at your operation costs, your competition, and what you want to charge, and really assessing that for your demographic is super important. Then you're going to be looking at your program structure at the same sort of time. So are you going to have staff? Are you going to have admin roles? Is it just going to be you? Are you going to have helpers? Are you going to run a junior coach program? Are they things that you can implement in the future that you can put into your business plan? But however, it could be just you right now. What's your gym, cheer program whole structure going to be? So what age groups are there going to be? Are you going to do different levels? Are you going to offer whole season? Are you going to do half season? Are you going to do rec? Are you going to do competitive? Are you going to do pom? Are you going to do tumble classes? Are you going to do group stunts? Like, there's so many things you can do. So where are those people, and what are they more likely to do? Because as a program owner, you might want to have an open level 5 team, but with a full program, right? You might want to have like a full gym with the floor and everything else, but that might not be possible in your first year when you're just starting. You might have youth novice starting, and then you grow from there. So you really, when you're planning out your expenses, your finances, your business plan, look at what realistically is a sensible decision and what's going to work for now, and then where you're going to grow this and where you would like it to go down the line. The other things to think about is your systems. So what systems are you going to have in place? Now, the systems could be things like how people book and pay for your classes, how people contact you, how people find you, and athlete skill tracking, attendance, communicating to parents. What are all those systems going to be? Are you going to have a website? Are you going to have a full booking system? Is it even necessary? What are the charges for using those different programs just for people to pay? You need, like, really breaking it down and saying, okay, well, I need to keep my operational costs as low as possible. Or you might be saying, I want to keep my product as high end as possible. So then you need to look at, okay, well, if you've got parents and families that are full competitive, all-star, and they're looking for that high-end elite program, then what are their expectations? Because that's what you're going to be budgeting for, and that's what numbers you need to be looking at. You also want to think about your culture, your mission statement, your gym values. What is the whole vibe of your program going to be? Because that's going to be what's at your core, and that could be really who you're attracting to your program. And then also looking at things like, how are you going to monitor your business? So first of all, we started off with getting a business mentor, which you're going to need to write the business plan. And then how are you going to review all of the metrics for your business? So how are you going to implement enrollments and review them? And then how are you going to keep track of retention? How are you going to keep track of growth targets? When are you going to look at these things and reassess them and then decide what you're going to put in place to get the results that you want. Now, if you're wondering what decisions I've made to what I'm doing right now out of curiosity, I really do love a spreadsheet and a business plan, and I do have a business mentor now. However, in the past, I did not have a business mentor, and I really feel like having that support would have just been epic. Like, honestly, it just would have made more of a more of a difference than I ever possibly could have imagined, having somebody to really help make decisions about, you know, what is, there's times where you would be like, I want this, but it's not what's right for your business, and having somebody help you see those decisions is really important. It could lead to your failure or your success at the end of the day. So another thing to think about as well, and look into while you're doing your business plan, is what, like where you are, do you have grants available that could be for you that are either like local ones that could help you start this business, or are there low cost like business workshops and things like that could possibly help you with things like, where we live, they'll do like really low cost social media or admin, using like programs to run, doing all of your admin of your business and how to do it. And there's just lots of different short courses that could be like a morning or a half day that really, really, really super low cost, like under $100 cost. So check to see if there's anything around in your local area or online that could really support you in what you're doing, because those little things can make all of the difference in the decisions that you're making and just make things so much easier for you. And the same goes with like when you're implementing things like, are you going to have a website? Okay, well, just the website, for example. If you're going to have a website, where are you going to build it? Are you going to pay somebody else to build it? Do you have the budget? Like I said, are you doing like low cost? Are you starting this off brand new? Or is it the high-end clients that are families that are looking for that elite level? If so, are you going to pay someone to build that website? Where are you going to find these people? I've gone through various different websites. My vacuum telling me it's not charging. I've gone through using people to build a website, and they were amazing. And then I've also built them myself on programs that are high cost for running per year, to then also go and using just a hosting site where I've built it myself, which is what I do now. And all of them work for different reasons, but those decisions that I've made now work best for the business that I have now. And that goes the same for bookings. So if people are paying for your fee, I've used programs before that would charge you a subscription fee to house your athlete information and your enrollment forms and class roles and all of those kind of things. But do I really need that subscription and that payout per month for that? No, I actually don't. So I don't use that anymore. So really assessing like what you need for your business. For me, I do my class roles in my online drive. If I've got any injury report forms, those get filed and saved online and sent to the parents. All my athlete information is there. Payments get processed online through a booking system that was paid for outright, which is for a lifetime. So my costs have reduced a lot for running the business itself, which makes sense for the type of program that I'm offering and running right now. The program that I'm offering and running right now is very different to running an elite level all-star. So really consider all of these things before you just go ahead and design your logo and open a Facebook page, because there is a lot more to consider about how you're going to make this successful and how you're going to continue it on for future years to come, and to really enjoy what you're doing with your program and your athletes. So I hope that was helpful for you, and thank you for joining me, and I really hope you have a lovely day. And yeah, any questions, shoot them on through, head them over to the contact page or drop a comment, and I really hope that helped somebody really think about what they're doing and break things down a little bit. So I will look forward to seeing you in the next chapter.
Thanks for sticking with me until the end of this chapter. I hope you found something useful, or at the very least cracked a smile. If you want some more, dive into more episodes, grab one of my books or a freebie at thecheerleaderbookclub.com. Hit me up on socials at the Cheerleader Book Club, and if you have a wild topic you want to hear my take on, send it over. No, really, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you. And on that note, I will look forward to seeing you in the next Cheer chapter.